that was awesome. I wish I had that talent, right?
Yeah, right.
To be able to sit. Well, I don't.
You sat in with us and pretended.
I pretend very well.
Yeah,
that's what I do
drums
best.
with us one night. Remember?
I did.
Yeah, so we can talk to Eric about that because he's a drummer when we get.
Well, yeah. Well, there has to be some teaching involved because the only thing I play well, actually, two things. One is the triangle. The other one is the cowbell. Right, more cowbell from Saturday Night Live. That's me all the way. Right. Listen, folks. Drew Cappuccino here, 216 Creator Studios. We got Tim Paul in the house. We got two awesome people in this house, making legendary things happen with the NAMM. Tim, you brought me last year out to California. I got to see the greatness. I'm addicted. Take my money, please. That's what we're doing right now. So. Listen, if you like what you see today, go to our YouTube channel. That's at 216 Creator Studios. Click that live tab. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, smash that bell so you get those future notifications. Please check out some of our other shows. We got some new shows coming around the corner. We're about 30 shows deep now. We're having a great time doing it, Tim.
Oh, we are. And I tell you, my favorite, other than Around the Piano and Lifting Spirits, of course, the Let's Talk Local, where it's not just necessarily Crystal Lake, Illinois local.
Correct. It's wherever you're local.
Wherever you're local. Yeah, yep. we want to feature that and talk to small mom and pop businesses wherever you are.
We want to help you gain awareness and listen, talk local, listen global. That's our thing here.
Exactly.
So we love helping all the local communities, especially the ones with the scholarship funds coming around the corner. We can't forget to do the one thing that we have to do before we bring in Eric and Aaron. Is talk about our sponsorships. We've got to make money too, right? So, so listen, piano trends, go there, buy pianos, buy 50 pianos. You want at least 3. Everybody needs at least a couple pianos. Now, listen, I think, Tim, we're doing something new this year. Listen, you want your piano to look like a Gucci bag. You want it to look steampunk. We are wrapping pianos. So we are not only just wrapping pianos, we are putting that new trend back in piano trends by putting a piece of furniture in your house that tells a story and then learn how to play it. If you don't know how to play a piano, where can they go, Tim?
You can go to pianotrends.com and get all the information you need. And we do lessons remotely. You don't have to live in Crystal Lake for that to happen. Right. I think we all learned to do something like that during the COVID years.
That's right.
Now it's become commonplace and everybody.
I love how we call it the COVID.
The COVID.
Yeah, it's like my dad from Chicago used to call Jewel the Jewels.
Chicago.
It's a total Chicago thing right there.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, hey, listen, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Tim, why don't we bring our guests in?
Let's do that.
Are we doing one at a time? You want to just throw them all at the door? What are we doing?
Let's bring them both in. Eric and Aaron, Eric Ebel and Aaron Friedman. Eric is the senior program manager at NAMM, which is the National Association of Musical Merchants, and we work with Eric every year. We've got some fun things coming up next January already we're talking about. And Aaron Friedman is the head of the Make Music Alliance, which brings us to Make Music Day. So welcome, guys.
Hey, Tim. Great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Awesome. How about let's start. Let's just give everybody just a little background on each of you individually. And Eric, why don't you go first?
Sure. I started my career as a performer. I'm a drummer, and then switched to working in the industry for a cymbal company, and then that led me to organizing trade shows for that company, and that led me to NAMM. And then there was a job opening 27 years ago in trade show sales, and I took that and have done lots of different things in the NAMM organization for 27 years, my whole career basically. And about I guess 18, 19 years ago, I moved into the foundation, and have been able to work on advocacy efforts and events at the NAMM show, including Room Full of Pianos, which is one of the highlights of my whole career. It's been an amazing event. And now I work for a bunch of different initiatives as part of the NAMM Foundation and the NAMM Market Development Team.
Well, I know NAMM is taking on some new ideas with the change in presidency over at NAMM. Joe Lamond was a wonderful head of NAMM show for many, many, many years. I think 20, 25 plus years. And now John Mlynczak has taken the helm and the baton has been passed, and he's come up with some great new ideas right off the shoot, which we'll be talking about and sharing in the future as well.
Wonderful. Yeah, John Mlynczak. And his background is education, just really sharp guy, really innovative and energetic and super passionate about this industry. So yeah, it's an exciting time at NAMM.
It really is. So Aaron, let's bring you on here and give us your background. Tell us what you're up to, what's brought you to the point where you are today with Make Music Alliance.
Yeah, well, so when I went back to my university for an alumni event a few years ago, they put me on a panel called Chaotic Career Trajectories in the Arts. That was where I fit in, because it was, I was a composer, then I was in graduate school, then I was running a political campaign, then I was teaching English, I was doing all sorts of things, bartending, and somehow the combined experience led me to discover this event called Fête de la Musique in France, which I decided to bring to the United States as Make Music Day. And that's, what I've been working on one way or another for the last, 18 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I know we've enjoyed being part of the Make Music Day twice a year. And for ourselves, we've actually combined the Roomful of Pianos, which became an initiative. How long ago, Eric, when did Roomful of Pianos begin? Has it been 4 or 5 years, 2017, 2018, something like that? 2018
is when the idea was conceived. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Aaron was there. We were sitting in a little, at a meeting room overlooking the Roomful of Pianos Lounge 88. In those days, that's what it was called. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But we were all sitting there looking at this room full of pianos, and we thought, let's do something with all these pianos. So it's gone through a couple different versions, but what an exciting event. It became an only at the NAMM type event. Everybody was talking about it, but we had up to 30, 40 pianists playing at the same time, and with the help of Aaron and some great composers, specifically arranged pieces for multi-pianos were performed, from John Philip Sousa to Queen and everything in between. It's really been a fun project.
It really has, and I can tell you, other than speaking commitments that I might have at the NAMM through Zach, the Roomful of Pianos was always the first thing I would circle and put on my calendar and work around, because I think the defining moment for me on Roomful of Pianos was when we went and the Bohemian Rhapsody. That was an amazing, and I know that you introduced that evening, and it was a magical evening. We talked about that all night afterwards. I went out to dinner with friends afterwards. That's all we talked about. We were at the NAMM show, but all we're talking about is Bohemian Rhapsody, and I forget how many people were playing, but it was 30, 40 people playing at the same time. And it was great. It was great. But it's interesting, though, how you guys came up with Roomful of Pianos organically like that. I'm going to let Drew tell a little story here. Remember how we came up with Around the Piano as a concept for our podcast?
That's right.
At the trade show, we were going to interview Thomas Claxton.
Correct.
And at the time we were to meet, he wasn't there. So we called him and he says, we're over at the Marriott. I said, well, we're supposed to be at the Hilton. So we go, he invites us over to the Marriott, and I'll let Drew finish this up.
Yeah. So,
he was with us.
At first I was like, oh, this guy's kind of a big deal. We gotta go to him, and I was like, okay, well, let's take the hike over there. So we go over to the Marriott, and he's eating lunch with his friends at the table. He's like, we'll just do it at the table during lunch. I'm like, all right. So we got a mobile kit, we're setting it up and everything else. And I'm looking at the table. I'm like, man, all these guys look familiar. And then they started going around the table. Jonathan Mover, Eddie Martinez, Tommy Beard. Listen, it was just a table. It was Scotty Page. So it was like a table of legends. I was in awe. I didn't even know how to hit the play button, right? I was like, wow, this is awesome. So we sat at the table, and literally while they ate lunch, they passed a microphone around and told stories.
It was great.
Which was that was Tim, that was the catch for me, right?
Right.
It was going to the shows at NAMM. It was going to the hotels and watching the concerts. And there was so much live footage. By 7 o'clock, I was exhausted. Listen, I'm only 50 years old. I was like, I need a nap. This is
you
crazy.
headed to your room early that night.
A couple nights, right? Yeah. As Tim's older than me, and he's outlasting me. He's like, "Come on," says, "Hey, let's do this," right? So I would, listen. Like I said before, there's a lot of great stuff that happens there. Roomful Pianos is a fantastic idea. Because before you, I've never heard of this before. Now we did with Lifting Spirits and Around the Piano, we did a mashup between Let's Talk Local and we did with Lifting Spirits, and we did your own version.
We did
of Piano Man, right?
We did.
That came out great. And when I asked you, I said, "Wow, this is," and you were like, "Wait till you see what NAMM does." And when I saw it, I was blown away.
Yeah.
So, really cool concept, guys. Congratulations on that journey. A quick question for you guys. So is there going to be an evolution to the Roomful of Pianos, or are you capped on it, or what's the future plans with that?
Well, the future is unknown, but our plans at this point are to evolve this. The initial idea, even from the very beginning, was how do we serve our members? So how do we give them ideas and resources so that they can expand their business, expand their reach into the community? And so when we did this Roomful of Pianos, we originally thought, okay, this will be an example. We'll demonstrate this. And of course, retailers like Tim will say, hey, I could do that in my store. I have a lot of pianos. They're all tuned. I could do that. So that's how it started. So as it started to evolve at the show, the show has changed. Matt, we used to all be in one room. All the pianos were in one room. We're going sort of back to that instead of Lounge 88, it's going to be called the Piano Showcase. It's its own ballroom. But at the time, we had sessions in there, and it was a lounge. And so it made a lot of sense to do this in a room with lots of different piano companies contributing. And so we had a performance area with 25, 30 instruments that just sat there for this reason. And that's become a little cost prohibitive for a lot of our piano companies. So as you saw, Tim, we moved around this last year. We had a pod of piano players, and we moved from room to room and did these sort of mini concerts in those exhibits. And that worked okay too. But at the same time, we were learning about retailers like you, Tim, that are very interested in already doing this in their stores. And, John and I and a couple others here said, this is time. Let's push it out where we really always wanted it to be. Now, that's not to say we won't do something with pianos in the future, maybe even in the 2025 zone. I know in 2026 we're celebrating 125 years of the piano as the sort of catalyst for our whole association. I'm pretty sure you all know that in 1901 the NAMM show was in Madison Square Gardens, and it was only pianos. And the NAMM organization started, I'm paraphrasing this story, but basically piano retailers were dealing with a lot of piano knockoffs, right? So it'd be like the Steiger or the different knockoffs of pianos, that brand pianos. And so the piano manufacturers, the piano retailers, established NAMM as sort of a good housekeeping seal. And you'd see this is a NAMM endorsed item, and it was to combat counterfeit pianos that were out there. Now, a bunch of things happened in the early 20th century, and radios became popular, and phonographs became popular, and the piano wasn't as central in the home. And so it's evolved and changed, but piano has always been sort of a catalyst and the sort of ground zero for our whole industry. So next, in 2026, we're planning a lot of big celebrations. So who knows? We might be able to bring back a room full of pianos performance for that year. I can't guarantee that, but when we pull all the piano companies together, that makes a perfect sort of setting for this event.
Yeah, I was thinking marching pianos, around the campus, and NAMM would just
okay.
They would draw attention.
What did you say it was 125 years?
125 years.
125 years, 125 pianos of anniversary edition would sound awesome.
Oh, there you go. See, Eric, there you go.
That one's free. The next one I'm charging for. That's all.
Yeah. So, I don't know, Aaron.
But as we talk about the room full of pianos, we do the Piano Man Jam, which we've done for a few years as part of Make Music Day. So they tie in together. So Aaron, as we give us a little background on not only, I know you had mentioned earlier today already about the Make Music Day began in France and you brought it here to the U.S. and it's grown. How many cities in the U.S. do we have participating on June 21st?
It's a lot. This year, 154 cities are doing citywide events for Make Music Day, which means the mayor's involved, the parks department, the libraries, the local retailers, the musicians, everyone comes out and celebrates kind of like a musical holiday where they're allowed to go outside and play music everywhere. But then a lot of places,
professional musicians either, right? We're talking about anybody who wants to play whatever, make music that day.
Exactly. It's not a festival where you've got, wristbands and press kits and auditions and anything like that. It's much more like Halloween. Anyone can be part of Halloween. Anyone can go out, put a costume on and just do it. And that's kind of the spirit for Make Music Day as well. Now, one group of people that has trouble going out onto the street and, playing their instrument is often pianists, because unless you've got, a freight elevator in your apartment or something, it's just hard to get the instrument out there. So, as we've been discussing, Room Full of Pianos began 6 years ago at the NAMM show, but we realized, well, there's actually kind of a reason to bring this into the June 21st Make Music Day as well, because, hey, all these great pianists, amateurs, professionals, enthusiasts, everyone would love to get together and Make Music Day and join the party, but how are they supposed to do it? Well, maybe this is the way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a really good thing, and I think it's going to be something that will take off. I know this is kind of the first time that you've encouraged dealers to do the Room Full of Pianos, but it's about, my hope is that it just gets more people involved in making music. The more we like to involve our students and just have them sit down and play. If you want to be videotape, boy, I'm showing my age. If you want to be recorded, we can do that. But if you just want to play and not have the pressure of somebody watching online, we'll do that too. But the big thing is just to get up there and just play, make music that day, celebrate. So you got something to go home and talk about and have a memory with it.
Absolutely.
And the more kids that we can get involved in music and taking lessons, the more well-rounded they're going to be growing up, and they're future NAMM members too. So, we want to encourage that and keep the music going. And Make Music Day twice a year is just an example of how we can reach out to people. It doesn't just have to be the kids. We want to reach out to everybody. But we actually have seniors come in from some of the senior neighborhoods just to come in and sit down and play a Piano Man with us. So we're looking forward to it. And I know other dealers that I talk with that are participating, they're thrilled with it as well. So what's the future of Make Music Day? What, besides the room full of pianos, what other ideas are kind of in the back of your mind that you think we might do in the future?
Yeah, great question. I mean, on one level, people are coming up with their own ideas all over the country and just showing up with their accordion or with their, hip hop group or whatever, and so part of it is we want to just give people the freedom to come up with their own musical ideas. But yeah, we found, another event that we've been doing for a number of years called Susapalooza has been really popular with a lot of, band and orchestra stores and community bands. So I think about 14 cities are doing events now where anyone can bring their instrument and join a group to sight read John Philip Sousa marches together. It's there's a store in Alaska, in Anchorage, that's doing it this year. There's, throughout the Midwest, East Coast is very popular because, people played this music maybe when they were in school and now they're off, working at an accounting firm or doing some other thing, but, they still have a trumpet under their bed or in a closet or something, and they still love the music and, just want that experience again of, being in the band. And it's really inspiring to me when people show up who have not played for years and maybe they're sitting next to a high school kid who's learning the instrument or a symphony orchestra musician who's leading the section and just, killing it. And they all feel like, we're all in this together. We're all playing this music and we're all kind of united in that way. It's really nice.
Well, it's, you guys know, and everybody does know, music's the one language that is spoken worldwide that we all understand. So I think it's, especially in today's world, I think music plays an even bigger and more important part of everybody's lives. And the more you use music, I think the better off you're going to be. Our slogan on Lifting Spirits, smile, be kind, and keep on keeping on. We try to do it with music. With it, so.
Yeah. Well, and let's just be honest. There's two things really in this world that bring people together. One is food. One is music, right?
Two together.
Those are the bonding tools. So, and if you do those together, count me in. Listen, on Make Music Day, I will be carrying my kazoo in my back pocket for any time there's a jam session ready to happen. And I know that we're doing something similar for Lifting Spirits Show that's kind of coming around the corner. You know what we have? Let's talk about this a little bit. So listen, folks, makemusicday.org. Why don't you go ahead and check that out? Let's go ahead and bring this in.
Yeah, let's bring that in there.
So this is the website. What can we expect going through this website? Is there we got videos, find out what it's about, right?
And you can search your city and you can find out what's going on in your city and your locale.
Yeah.
And then you can actually sign up to participate through that.
Wow, that's really cool.
It's a great site.
Yeah.
If you go to the schedule, you'll see a map actually of all the different cities that are participating, nationwide map. And you can kind of get a sense of, where there's a lot of just a lot of music happening. It's going to be over 5,000 events all on June 21st this year. So it's a lot.
Looks like we got to work on the western part of the country a little bit there, Aaron.
Anyone who wants
right on
to drop me a line, I'll help them get set up.
Yeah.
Well, I can just interject here. We have the NAMM Foundation's Museum of Making Music. Is sort of a community hub in this part of Southern California. Music events, concerts. Of course, the museum is world-class, remarkable space. But we really make a lot of hay on Make Music Day. So we'll have music happening here from morning till late in the evening. And it's just a celebration for the whole team and the whole community. Because that's why we're this the presenting sponsor for Make Music Day 2023. The NAMM Foundation, our mission is to bring music into the lives of every human being, right? Music making, not just music, but music making, because we know how that affects people. And it's the NAMM Foundation is. You could think of it as the charitable arm for the NAMM Trade Association. And it really represents the generosity and philanthropy of the music industry. We do research on the impact of music making. We do innovative music programs like this. We spend a lot of time advocating for music education in schools. We provide scholarships for both college faculty and up and coming music students to come to the NAMM show and others. We offer training materials, lots of professional development at the NAMM show for music educators and music makers. And so the Make Music Day just fits right into the zone for us, and it's really exciting. And the other thing I wanted to interject is we were talking about the room full of pianos and the experience and how it organically grew. And I have to say, I've told Aaron this, so sorry. I've told you this probably 20 times, but I'm a drummer, and when I first in junior high band, when I first played with an ensemble, because I had learned piano as a kid, just sort of self-taught, and then I took lessons, and then I discovered percussion. And the first time I ever played with an ensemble, with a group of musicians all facing this, all doing the same thing but different at the same time, I at whatever 12 years old, I knew I had found my place. It was like magic. And we all know what that feels like. And so that's always been sort of a staple. As a drummer, you don't do a lot of solo gigs. You're always in an ensemble. And that's like such a big part of it for me personally. And so when I saw all these professional pianists in that first room full of pianos, I was standing there with Aaron and realizing that most of these pianists are soloists. Not all of them, but most of them, and certainly most of them have never played with 25 other players, And so they were playing these ensemble parts with a conductor, and you could just see it. It was just this unifying. After 1 hour of rehearsal, the group was so unified and so connected. It was such a great example of group music making and the power of music making with other people. Just remarkable. So I just wanted to, we were talking about sort of organic discoveries as we try this stuff. I didn't expect that at all, but it's become like the main part of this event when you get a pianist that's been working solo and that maybe their teacher to start playing with other pianists and playing different parts, and that whole ensemble experience is just magic. It's just magic. So anyway, just contributing that little story.
No, I agree with you. I think that it really is, and we noticed the same thing. You guys created something that when how many thousands of people came and not only participated, but remember the crowds that were around that to watch that. And if you watch their faces, it was jaw dropping. Just because that's something that you hadn't seen up until that point. You'd never put that many pianos together with that many piano players that could coordinate that well together. So it was something. And I'd add something else too. If you're traveling to the NAMM show next year, what are the dates again? Do you know the dates off the top of your head there, Eric?
I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't.
Look it up.
I'll look it up. Hold on.
In January.
Okay. Yeah, it's in 23rd, I believe, 23rd, 24th, 25th.
Yeah.
But it's a whole week. It's basically that week of January in Anaheim.
Yeah.
But we have events starting on Tuesday, Wednesday. The exhibits open on Thursday, open on Friday, and open on Saturday. We're not open on Sunday this year. But we've expanded a while ago into the whole week of activities, but we've always sort of focused on the exhibit. But we're really moving into that whole week, exploring that space, if you will. There's a day of service. There's programming for different segments of the industry, educators, education program leaders, nonprofit professionals, all in that ramp up. Retailers, of course, and commercial members, of course, the ramp up to that Thursday show start, exhibit show start. So yeah, I'll have that date for you in just a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that one of the things that is important, I think everybody plan an extra day, go early, and make sure that the NAMM Foundation Museum is open. Take time to visit the museum if you haven't done it. It's a fabulous place to go to. We've enjoyed it in the past.
Yeah, it's really like no other event. Another story. Yeah, it's 23rd through the 25th. the events start on the 21st and go all the way to the 25th, as I was saying. But yeah, that's the NAMM show. And I got to say, again, way back when, 30 years ago or so, when I was working at a school in Los Angeles and playing, and I came to the NAMM show for the very first time, and I was completely blown away. I'd never experienced that diverse of a community in music. I was really focused on performance, and that was it, or education. And the people there, that community of music makers and music people was just life changing for me. And a couple years later, I found myself working for a manufacturer. But the NAMM show is like nothing you've ever experienced if you've not done it.
No, we've been to 30 plus if we're counting the summer shows as well. But I'm telling you, it might be right next door to Disneyland, but the real Disneyland is that NAMM show for the music people. It's if you can't have fun at a music trade show, you can't have fun anywhere.
I mean, you get to go and see the new instruments that are out. They do a breakfast. Everywhere you walk, there's some kind of concert happening. There is. Even if listen, I'm a digital person. I make digital music. I do editing, stuff with the studios, but the stuff that I physically haven't learned how to do, I still enjoy it. I go there. When I went there, it was show after show after show. Now listen, there was a short story for you. So we were bouncing in between and back and forth hotels, and then going to the convention center and doing that. And there's so much to see that you feel like you're missing something when you're walking away from something. We left the Hilton there. We left the Hilton and we went in and started looking at some of the purveyors, the vendors, looking at the new saxophones that are color coordinated now, and some of the new technology that they have in microphones. And I mean, it's like a candy store, right? Yeah, and then when we came back to the Hilton, there was a concert that just ended, and the place was packed to the gills, and everybody's pounding their fist in the air going, one more time. And I was like, I missed it. Yeah. So I mean, listen, what a great setup you guys put together there. I mean, listen, we have Lollapalooza here. We have all these different things. But I've never experienced
nothing like the NAMM
anything.
Show. I mean, the after hours things that you can do, like Eric, the drum circle that happens every year. That's amazing. We started a ukulele circle last year, I believe.
Yeah.
That was amazing as well. So there's always something. A lot of times the USC marching band, the Trojans, are there to open the show. Then they'll march around. It's great. Even the sad commemorative moments where Dan Del Fiorentino, where Dan does the tribute to those people that we've lost in the music industry the previous year. The gentlemen that come through with the bagpipes, and where they're showing on the videos of the people that we did lose, and it's moving. It's very moving.
It hits home
when you do it. Yeah.
The veterans group that I saw doing jazz right off the cuff, amazing.
And that was just kind of like a pop up at one of the booths.
Right. And then there was a girl that I saw. She was looking at guitars in the little convention center there, and she just picked one up and then had a crowd around her within like 10 minutes. It was a show in itself, And you know what, too, when you get a lot of people in one area, you start getting a little nervous. There's a lot of things happening at the same time. Everybody was friendly. Everybody was very cordial. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to be friends with everybody. It's just a wonderful atmosphere. Right. And then the food trucks, I can't even say enough about that. And listen, the Italian from Chicago, kid, I know food, and I had to try every one of those. And man, hands down, it was
hands down.
What a wonderful, and probably a challenging setup, right? Because it's such a big production. And you guys make it look so easy and so flawless that I was impressed, and my little studio is nothing compared to what you guys have going on. But let me tell you this, I plan on being there every year. And our platform has an outreach to 35 million people. If you need any assistance from us, we're in your pocket, man. 100%.
Wow, thanks very much. Guys, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I drink the Kool-Aid every day, basically. This industry is, to a fault, almost generous and collaborative. I mean, we see fierce competitors sharing ideas and collaborating. It's just what you do in music, right? And also the spirit of constant improvement that you learn as a young musician, it infuses the entire industry, and that feeling of creative collaboration and constant improvement and community, it's palpable at the NAMM show. You can feel it. Like you said, people are really friendly, and there's in the past, in 2020, over 100,000 people in one place. Like, tiny incidents that just normally happen, but really amazing community, and bringing people together like that for more than just the instruments and for this community gathering is just really spectacular. It sort of evolved into this. It didn't start that way 124 years ago, but it has evolved into this celebration of this music community. So yeah, what you're saying is I completely agree with. It's amazing experience. So if you're in the industry, you have to come to the NAMM show.
You do. I agree 100%. There has never been a time where I haven't come and not come home with some little glimmer of some years more than others, but where you don't go home with something that you can't put to use right away that makes your business a little bit better.
Yeah.
You don't know. I always cite Bob Popick as an example, especially in the 90s. When he would do the classes, and it was mostly piano classes that he did on marketing.
Yeah.
But he always came up with great ideas. And back in the 90s, this wouldn't work today, but back in the 90s, Bob Popick presented a class and he said, I want you to go home and I want you to mail out an envelope to your best customers. Don't put anything in the envelope. Just put your return address on there and mail it to them. I said, well, why would we do that? He says, because they're going to call you and say, hey, I got this envelope for me, but there's nothing in it. What is it? Now you've got an opportunity to talk to them and get them into the store for something. Say, well, as long as you're here, why don't you come on in and I'll give you the paper or the letter then.
It's the Wonka ticket.
Yeah. And it worked. Right. It works, and we got to meet more people that way. But, the same thing, you go through, you create these friendships over the years at NAMM. So I encourage anybody who hasn't gone and just started like Drew last year, 20 years from now, you're going to have a lot more friends.
And the memories. Listen, and most of our listeners are going to go, here goes Cappuccino again, talking about relationships. Listen, I'm a relationship builder. That's what I do. I'm not a salesman.
Yeah.
I build relationships, and it's just another word of saying I got a guy. So you go out there, you have fun. They're having fun. You meet new people. Next thing you know, you're interviewing somebody on your podcast, or next thing you know, you have a business relationship. When you build that solid, structured network, why would you go outside of it to do anything, right? And NAMM is the place for that. It's like the giant ribbon cutting. It's the place where you can go, mingle, eat, see some cool things, meet new people, make new friends, and then come home with value. Does it cost to go there? Yes. But the value you get out of it is way more important. It's the memory. It's the relationships that you build. It's the shows, the music, the talents. Listen, I got to look at Prince's piano. That was kind of cool, right?
That's right. Couldn't touch it, but we could.
No. Yeah, they were like, get away. Just to look at it was kind of cool, right? I'm like, Prince played this piano. Prince, right. It's Prince, right? Or formerly known as, I don't know what that was going by, but at the same time, there's, let's talk about the breakfast really quick, because how well organized was that?
Oh, the breakfast sessions?
I mean, it's entertainment, it's live podcast, it's speakers, and it's tables, food.
It's great scrambled eggs, you know. All
I mean, it's got all everything you need to eat, right? And that's fine. But along with that is an edutainment, right? It's education, entertainment slapped together, and they make that room, the ambiance in that room, feel so warm, welcome, dim lights, purples, oranges, reds, and you know you're watching the screen. Next thing you know, it's over, and then you're like, "What's next?" And then you're walking through the instruments, and then you're going, "Oh, I hear music playing already." And then you're going to the concerts, and I mean, I have never experienced anything like that ever, and I don't think anybody else can mimic that. You know, Eric, you mentioned competition. I don't think there is competition to that. I think that you guys are givers, and there's no reason to take because it's already given and everybody receives.
Yeah, I think Eric's talking about us competitive retailers.
Oh, and the retail.
Yeah, we're not competitors when we're at that show.
No, and you know, so most people, that's a mindset, right? So you know, if you both sell guitars, there's a way to work for both of you, and there's enough honey in the honey pot for everybody when you start collabing with people, and that's kind of important. And when you go to NAMM, you find that relation. That's what I'm saying. You find that relation. Listen, I went to because I own the studios. You know, my business partner and I, we went to this one booth that was selling like these microphones and then the AirPods that go with it and everything else, and she was very nice, and you know, we're looking at things, and she wanted our information. I gave her a card. They sent us free stuff to check out. I was like, "What?" Now, listen, when you go to an auto show, you might get a brochure, a keychain, right? I mean, there were people that just so open. They're like, "Here, you need to try our product to know how it works." And you're really not going to understand that by just standing in front of it or trying it in front of us. Give it, you know, this is yours.
Looking at
Give
a
it a shot.
picture on the internet, the touchy feel of a NAMM show makes all the difference in the world.
Yep. And then from Casio, Steve Weingart. We got to interview him as well. And then we got to get a little, you know, some music clips on him playing. Phenomenal. And then found out he also races cars. I was like, come on, is there something you can't do? Right. So yeah, folks, check it out. If you have the opportunity in January to go, I highly suggest that make that your vacation, make that your getaway, you know. And for you business leaders in the music industry, check it out. You know,
well, yeah. I mean, you're talking. Sorry, Aaron. I think I'm taking up all the air, but there's so much to talk about when I'm talking about NAMM. It's such an exciting time for us. You're talking about business leaders. We're introducing a new product in July. Most of you might know that we had a trade show in Nashville in July for many years, and that's evolved. The industry has evolved to it maybe not needing 2 shows in the United States every year, but our industry really wants to get together. And so this idea of NAMM Next has been developed, and it's this immersive, high level networking, inspirational opportunity for up and coming music professionals. And the networking opportunity is just priceless because of what we were just talking about, because our industry is so collaborative. I've seen, it's just common to see direct manufacturer competitors sharing ideas and friends, good friends. That's not the same in every other industry, and that's because of the population. That's because of the foundation of this industry is music makers, musicians, and it's a passion industry. It's we've talked a lot about it, and so, you know, we're really excited about NAMM Next. There's great enthusiasm. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. That's in July in Nashville, Tennessee. And then there's really big plans for, you know, this 125 years of the piano, and it's a big anniversary for NAMM as well. We have a lot of things planned for this year. We're rebranding, as I said, Lounge 88 for all of your piano enthusiasts to the piano showcase with updated logos and signage and promotion. There's a new location. We're really highlighting the success of this by partnering with like TikTok content creators, spreading the information far and wide within this global piano community. And then our team is, or the trade show sales team and membership team, they're initiating call campaigns, talking to retailers, manufacturers in the piano community, asking them how we can better serve their needs at the NAMM show, and highlighting the benefits of participating, of course, because the more professionals are at this event, the better it is. It's exponentially better. Those ideas, you come away with inspiration, of course. You come away with relationships, but you come away with great ideas because of the nature of our industry. We're sharers, we're collaborators just by our nature. So.
No, it's going to be exciting. Well, we got to do this again, guys, down the road. But maybe as we head into the fall season, we're talking a little more closer about details with NAMM. Let's get together and spread the word about it from our end. Would love to chat with both of you then. And we'll be talking about Make Music Winter when we get there as well. So, Aaron, any last words? What are we doing on June 21st? Any highlights? I can tell you for us, we're doing the Piano Man Jam. We're going to have a piano marathon, and we're going to have our students play, and we've invited everybody to come in and play with us on Friday, June 21st, which is just not that far away. But what's going on in New York?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got the concept 100%. That's the stuff to do, is gather your own community and play music with each other. In New York, well, one thing that we're doing is a event in Harlem with a bunch of incredible Latin jazz musicians led by Arturo O'Farrell, who's an 8-time Grammy-winning artist. And that whole concert is actually going to be live streamed onto the NAMM.org website this year. So,
fantastic.
Anyone who wants to just, check out what's happening, maybe in a different part of the world.
Yeah.
All day on June 21st.
Well, we'll have that streaming on our television sets at the store on that day in the background as we do that. What's the website for that live stream again? It's going to be at
NAMM.org. It's a site takeover for that day.
Okay.
Just go there and you'll see all of it.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much for being with us today. This is great. I love talking music with people in the industry, and we'll see you at the next NAMM show for sure.
Thanks, Tim. Great to see you, Aaron. Great to see you, Tim. Always, I can't wait to see you in person.
Yeah, same. Great to have you. Hear all about what's going on at Crystal Lake too. It's so inspiring what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. We have fun. Just remember to smile, be kind, and keep on keeping on.
Listen, folks, from everybody here at 216 Creator Studios around the piano, we wish everybody a great day. Until next time, folks. Eric, Aaron, nice to meet you guys. Until next time, if you're in the area, feel free to stop on by, have some fun with us. Don't forget, make music, keep on keeping on.